What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Let's Get Stringing. Today I want to show you how I make a DIY racket balance board without spending much money from beginning to the end. So stay tuned. I'll show you everything that I do to it so you can make your own DIY racket balance board. Let me preface this by saying there are balance board products readily available. This is the Dunlop one sold on Amazon, as well as Tennis Warehouse and WD Strings. There's even a guy who sells his 3D printed rotating device, which will only require you to print out a free template in order to turn it into a functional balance board. So if you got money to spend anywhere from $50 to $100, buy it from them. I believe the 3D printer one is only like $35 or so, or you can make one like this one for free. Yes, free. Basically, first thing I found out was there are these templates that I could print out online. Credit goes to this guy, Znak,
and tt.talktennis.com. He's on there.
And put his link in the description. All credit goes to him. Basically, he's printed out a real-sized measurement template, down to the millimeter scale, as you can see. And basically, for my printer, I can only print out 8 inches by 11-inch standard paper size. However, if you got the size of paper that can print out this whole drawing to scale in just one single sheet, that would be the best. You have that type of printer and paper size setup. I don't, so I'm forced to print it in 2 separate sheets, and he's got a different file for that, for you to print it in one single sheet. I just pretty much find a piece of scrap plywood board that I have in my basement. As you can see, this I picked it up some years back in Home Depot's junk bin for free. They mark it with this purple color for people to pick up, so there's no price tag on it. It's completely free. So I figured out the dimensions of the board that I would need to make, pretty much using this printout as template. I just draw out the outer perimeters, and I'm in the process of cutting this piece of board to size. Now this is only like I would guess 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little thicker, so it's very easy to cut. Within a few minutes I've already cut through the board, so there's no need to use any fancy cutter or anything, but you can, if you set up to do that. We're in winter here, so I don't feel like taking my jigsaw or any type of saw outside because temperature is freezing outside. That is why I'm choosing to cut this using my bladed knife, or box cutter knife, whatever you call it. Hopefully I don't make a mistake with the camera here, but it's not rocket science. As you can see, it's already splitting open. I just got a little glass bit here toward the end. Here we go, split open. So now obviously I got some rough edges. I'll just go upstairs and use my sander to buff it smooth, so I can show you the next step. Sandpaper. I left a slightly larger dimension compared to the paper so I could bevel the edges just a little bit. Obviously, this is not like fine woodwork or anything. Just want to give it a quick and easy sanding job. There are spots where I carved in too low. For example, this portion over here. So I try to sand that area less, and then the taller spots I was sanding a little bit harder. This edge had the original factory cut, so it needed the least amount of sanding. So I finished off that side. I'll go over it once again for this side. By the way, this is also a demonstration on how to make your bathroom into a sawmill. It will help to wear a mask. Alright, just a couple of more edges to do. This face is going to face the bottom, so there's some rips on the surface of the wood from the cutting and ripping. I'm not going to do nothing about that. I mean, if I really want to go all out, I could like paint it, stain it or whatever, prime it, smooth it, and paint it. But for a simple Racquet balance board, it's not worth that much of my time and effort. Okay, I got all 8 edges done. I brushed it first, you know. I got a lot of sawdust stuck to the surface. Got this towel that's sitting around in my bathroom. Just wet it just a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with the result, ready for the next step. I've decided to utilize a scrap piece of PEX tubing that I got laying around. Here you can see PEX tubing. I think I could try and use it as a roller. If I could create 2 hinges over here on the side, I don't know if you call it hinge, no, you would, it's probably some kind of a spindle over here. I would draw a hole into the middle of the wood and then just mount the wood on both sides. So you get the idea. I laid out my balance board template, and on the template there's a top line up here that says supposed to be the balance point. So that's meant for your balance rod to be able to sit center on that line. And in order to transfer that line onto the wood, so I would know exactly where to drill the hole, something like that. Do the same thing on the other edge. Something like that. Might as well draw a line right across it. I want to make sure. About 3/4 of an inch on that edge. About 3/4 of an inch on that edge. Okay, so I got my reference point. I'm gonna use this piece of wood and just cut a couple pieces out. I'll make it centered around that line. Like I said, it doesn't really need to be that precise. As long as it's centered. Mark off the edge over here. There. Side about there. And then once I got that cut out, I will find out where the center opening should be. Stay tuned. Welcome back. These are 2 pieces that I did cut. So I'm gonna transfer this balance point line onto these blocks. I'm just going to basically line up the left edge to the edge of my board and make a point there, and then flip it over this edge and line it up to my board. So anyways, my center line is gonna end up there on that block. Cut it based on this piece. This again. The line is over there, and this line is over here. This way is much closer. It's not perfect, but I'm going to also mark off the center of this cut. This is right at 1.5 inch, so cut it at 0.75 inch. 0.75. Okay, so I got my middle point over there. That is the bullseye where I'm gonna drill my hole. It's much easier like this. Okay. See which hole size is gonna fit this. I'm gonna step her a bit. Gonna take about halfway through. This one is too fat. It has a tendency to move the center of the hole. So start out with this smaller bit. Okay, now I got the pilot holes put through. I just need to lengthen it. But since this side already comes out, the fact that I need to spin it, therefore, I'm just gonna make both sides come out. Through to the second. It's cool how the hole has this spiral pattern or the step pattern inside as well. And I'm still not through. Okay, nice. I'm there. I could use the same step holes to create some kind of a knob, adjustment knob for me to adjust it over here. And I simply just have to like bang this piece in and glue it with a piece of with glue or something, super glue or wood glue. Nice. just a little deeper for it to have more mobility. I would actually like to have the holes go all the way through because it's kind of wobbly like this. If it's just stuck somewhere inside, as you can see on the other side. But I would like to have the same size hole all throughout rather than the step bit hole. Let me go get another bit. It's trial and error here, you know. Trial and error. I think I can do the trial opening that way and then use the step bit from this side for a better finish. Oh yeah, now that's legit. Tight fit. So if I stick in this wood, it's not gonna want to come out easily. You see how tight to a fit this is? That's what I want actually. It might become too hard to turn on this end, which I could always add in the drop of oil or something. But in worst case situation, I could always open up the hole some more later. I'll worry about that later. So I'll repeat the same thing with this block. Still pretty snug. I'm happy with that. So now let me mount. Actually, you know what's even better is I could glue this on right now with super glue. I glue this on right now so that it'll stay in place, and then I'll flip this whole thing over and nail it through from screw it through from the other side so it'll be more secure. Here's my super glue. I hope it still works.